Hello everyone, this is Swibsk with another episode of Dwarf Fortress, and so can you. In the previous episode, we showed you a little bit about burrows and stockpiles. This episode, we're going to run you through the essentials of what a good fortress needs. So in the carpenter's workshop, we're making beds. In the mason's workshop, we've made a single table. We're actually going to make a few more tables. Again, A to assign a task, Q to go view building, set buildings, tasks, and preferences. Go over to the mason's workshop, A to add new task, and T for table. We're going to build a few more tables, 4, and we're also going to go to the other mason's workshop, and we're going to add some chairs. Rock chairs are called thrones. We're going to add a few thrones. This is so we can stock the dining hall fairly well. Our miners are almost done mining. And in this episode, we're also going to talk about a little bit about miasma and waste management. Both quite important things for a fortress. So what we're going to do is we're going to again mine out a 10 by 10 area out of our fortress. So we're going to start the cursor here. I'm just going to hit shift again twice just to get it down. We're going to make the entrance quite wide here, and I'll explain to you what miasma is right now. Miasma comes from rotting bodies and large waste buildup. There are more advanced ways to deal with miasma buildup than just dumping all your refuse out into a stockpile that's outside, but it is certainly the quite simplest way, and I'll be going over the more advanced ways to deal with it in future tutorials. So right now our farmers have run out of seeds to plot, and everybody is hauling things wildly back into our little stockpile area there. So we dig this out. Miasma causes dwarfs to be extremely unhappy. And a happy dwarf is a productive dwarf. Dwarfs also get unhappy thoughts when they come across things in the fortress that are bad, like rotting bodies, vermin, and things like that. So it's always good to clean those sorts of things out and have a miasma chamber. And notice how I've had, again, a center pillar here. This is just so that it doesn't collapse. We've also created some beds, and because we have an idler, we're also going to go build a few beds in these bedrooms here that we've made, these 7 bedrooms. We're going to hit B, build for, and then we're going to go again B for bed. I'm not going to go through this whole list again, and I'll let you figure it out. It's best to place them as far away from the door as possible, as that's the best way to do it. Dwarves also like to have doors on their rooms. It makes them feel a little bit more comfortable, and is generally a good thing to have. And these are constructed at the mason's workshop or the carpenter's workshop, so we'll do it at the carpenter's workshop this time. We're going to add a task, and we're going to have a door. Rock doors are a little bit better, and it's a good idea to have locking doors in some of the more advanced workshops, as when a dwarf gets a fey mood, it can be quite disastrous. Now that our waste dump has been dug out, I want to show you some waste management things. So we're going to have I for a zone, and we're going to go into rectangle mode. Or no, this is rectangle mode. Earlier it was just flow. We're going to have this. Zones you can set for all these sorts of things. This is going to be the garbage dump. This is so things that are just garbage get dumped here. You can have multiple things as well: clay, sand, pit pond, fishing, water source. You have to set a zone for a water source, otherwise your doors just kind of don't do that. We're also going to set a stockpile in here for refuse, which is somehow different than garbage. I'm not sure. There are certain things that qualify under refuse that don't qualify under garbage, but nonetheless, all the doors should go in place, everything they need there. To get a couple extra bars of wood, you can always deconstruct your wagon by going Q, and it will be slated for removal. Again, our miners, this is our main staircase, and we've dug down a few Z levels. It is important that you don't dig down all the way, for reasons I'll explain later in the program that I don't have right now. We're also going to dig out a place, 5x5 place inside of our fortress for the caravan. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it's a 5x5 area with a 3x3 entrance. So we're going to have our miners set to do that. Someone's going to also be deconstructing the building. And we have an idler. Let's see what our idler's doing by going to units. And you come into a list of units, and we have the stonecrafter has no job. So we're going to go see zoom Cree, and it's going to go zoom right to him. And so he's just chilling out in the dining room, and I'm not sure why that is. So we're going to go again, view units, go over to him, or you can go to unit list and go to the stonecrafter, and you can also go view Cree, or no, that's not it. B zoom building. I've forgotten how to do this. C zoom Cree. It jumps to him. Yeah, that's the one you want. You want C for zoom Cree. This is general inventory preference. We're going to put preference labor, and he's got jewelry enabled, but we're also going to enable masonry and woodworking, such as carpentry and wood cutting, just to make things in our fortress flow a little bit faster. Our miners have dug out this area, so what we're going to do is we're going to build a trade depot in this 5x5 area using some gabbro rock that we have attained from mining earlier. You can use whatever you like, but if you're on a sparsely wooded map like this, I suggest using stone over wood. Another important thing to know about stockpiles is you can change the amount of reserved barrels and bins using E and R and C and V by reserving barrels and bins. You can store food in barrels and things, and food in barrels and just jewelry and other things in bins. So for this food stockpile, we're going to it's already set to 30 barrels, but for something like a gem stockpile, we're going to it's already reserved bins. I guess that's for more custom stockpiles, and other Dwarf Fortress versions doesn't have that automatically implemented. As we'll see, we've constructed some more beds, so we're also going to go build those beds here, 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 here. I'm not sure if we've got the doors finished, but we don't. And so, as you can see here, where we forgot to mine out when I was hurriedly assigning this, we're going to resize the room again, and we're just going to have it this large. Enter done. We're also going to build doors here so that no one has a meeting outside. And also we can lock people in and keep invaders out. We're going to also build a few chairs and tables in the dining room. Notice how when I place a table, it automatically bumps back to this menu and not very far back in other menus. Again, we'll run another plum helmet spawn. That sometimes happens. That's fine. So we have no more economic hard rock. This is a good thing. This means your dwarfs aren't using your gold ore to build your chairs and stuff. So what we need to do is we need to set our miners to mine. About 2 or 3 Z levels below, we're gonna have an enormous stockpile area that should keep our dwarves busy for quite some time. So I'm gonna have 20 tiles out this way, and now we're back here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we're gonna go 20 tiles out this way, 20 tiles and 4 down this way. It's a little bit lopsided, but that will do. Actually, that's a bit too big. I'm going to cancel that and resize it a bit smaller. Our dwarves will never mind that in any economically timed fashion. I'm going to go stick with, so 10, and that looks about right. Oops, of removing designation, I need to be mining. Stairs are a tricky thing. Invaders can go upstairs and downstairs. And you can meet stuff underground, and that is why it's a good idea not to do that. So we're going to remove designations. Oh, that's gold. We're going to remove designations in some key areas around the staircase so it doesn't collapse, and also some random places here, so again it doesn't collapse. Again, to move the cursor quickly, just shift and tap, and you'll move over 10 tiles. Doesn't have to be even, it can be haphazard, We're just mining this area out so that our stone crafters have something to do. Now that we have these beds, all the dwarves are going to be quite happy. To assign a dwarf to a bedroom, you can, again, Q to go building some preferences, R to make bedroom, and just size it the size of the room, and you can assign the bed to a person who doesn't have a bed yet. People who have already been assigned a bed, his names appear in a different shade. And to make when you make something a dormitory here, or a dormitory, that means dwarves can share the room. They don't like this too much, but you can usually compensate the bad thoughts that are associated with dormitories. Are we missing a dwarf? We are missing a dwarf. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. That was weird. So we got Morion, and you can zoom here. I'm not sure. Morion, I think, is the gem. You can always go to a great website resource for if you're wondering what anything is Dwarf Fortress Wiki. So we've got some other stuff out here. We're going to wait for the stockpile to be dug out a little bit more before bringing that inside. We're going to have a stockpile down there for finished goods. Now you'll notice here that the trade depot isn't being built because it needs architecture. This means you have to go to units, find someone, let's say, because we have both these stoneworkers. Architecture is found under other jobs here. The stoneworker has architecture enabled, so he will be able to construct it. And let's go to stone crafter and make sure he's also got architecture. Architecture, it doesn't inherently do anything, but if an architect designs a building, such as a bridge or a trade caravan, it is displayed as, it is shown as extra value for your fortress, which means you'll get better trade caravans. You'll also increase the likelihood of sieges, but I think the benefits outweighed the costs, as usually you can turn sieges into a net benefit by mining the goblin's armor and that sort of thing once you have a good economy going. Notice how this room isn't connected to the fortress. Again, that's because miasma is bad, which is also why you want to keep a very tight eye on things that die in stairways, as miasma will funnel out of control in the stairways. So our dwarves are very happy now that they've got a bed to sleep in, and we're going to try and build some doors now for these rooms. These are just some clay rooms. The doors, I don't think, mind that much. We're also going to try and finish up the tables. There's not a lot to do for the tables. I think that's all for this episode. Next episode, I'm going to cover some things like not Dwarf Fortress, Dwarf Therapist quite yet, but I'm going to cover some more advanced things like military traps, and hopefully we'll have our first migrant wave soon, so we have some more dwarves to get things quite rolling quite quickly here. And so that's it for Swibsk, and thank you for joining me on I Dwarf Fortress, and you can too.